Guidance from Guru during practice of yoga. Guidance from a guru during the practice of yoga is crucial to keep the practitioner on track at each and every stage of his or her path. Without this guidance from the guru, it is just not possible for any practitioner to persevere long enough on the path of yoga. Attractions and distractions of the external world are too strong for the practitioner. He or she will easily become prey to life and fall down from the spiritual path. The guru is constantly vigilant and watches over the practitioner. I shall narrate a few examples in my own life so that the readers can easily comprehend the essence of the subject. I have already narrated some experiences in the previous chapters as to how guidance from my guru has been crucial. The very beginning of Kriya in my case did not take place on initiation, and my guru had to interfere a few times before the Kriya could start manifesting into my body. Thereafter, I have narrated how my guru had to clear many of my doubts. Specifically, my tears of committing sins had to be cleared. Otherwise, my further progress in yoga would have been frozen. My guru was the constant reference manual for me whenever I needed answer to clear my mind. Further, I have narrated how I had come out of the financial problems in my life due to the effect of the mantra given by my guru. Now, I shall write about something that is very important for every practitioner. Once the Kriya starts manifesting, as I have already said in the earlier chapters, it starts manifesting either simultaneously in all the shades or sometimes in an isolated manner. Let us now assume that Kriya has started manifesting in the normal daily routine of a person. Can the readers imagine what will be the outcome? Event starts manifesting at a rapid rate. The destiny of a person is accelerated so that the accumulated character is washed away at a fast pace. Sometimes it becomes too difficult for a practitioner to bear the load. Many a time I had to complain to my guru about the fast pace of destiny that was unfolding. Remember that this fast pace may not always be a pleasant one. Many a time events pertain to an egoistic shelf of knowledge. Unpleasant experiences have to be borne by a practitioner. This is how the Supreme Force removes the last trace of egoism from the intellect or buddhi as it is called in Sanskrit texts. So, when the pace of a kriya used to become too fast, I used to request my guru for relief. And my guru used to control the pace of events unfolding in my life. In the similar manner, a guru might remove the unpleasant experiences from a person's life so as to make it easy for the practitioner. Sometimes the guru himself takes over the load by transferring the unpleasant experience of a person onto himself, including diseases. However, my guru can easily protect himself by experiencing them in a very mild form. Sometimes the guru might take over the pleasurable experience so that the practitioner does not become prey to the attraction of worldly life. When things of the nature happen, the guru does them in such a subtle way that the practitioner does not even recognize it at any point of time. I can recollect many experiences wherein my guru had managed my destiny in such a subtle way. Both the good aspects and bad aspects of one's character need to get eliminated. This management of the destiny of the practitioner that is done directly by a guru is extremely subtle. I doubt if readers can comprehend this, and I doubt my own ability to put across the point to readers effectively. Anyway, let me try it out. One day, I was driving on a scooter on my way out to meet my guru in Hyderabad. My guru had given me an address and had told me to meet him there. I was not familiar with this city, so I took out a city map and marked my route through the familiar roads in the city. However, I had chosen a longer route which was unnecessary. I was unnecessarily taking a long detour from a point along the main route since I was not familiar with the shorter route. As I was driving, my mobile phone started ringing. Normally, I do not respond when driving, and especially not if I am driving a two wheeler. However, I too glanced at the screen to see the identity of the caller. This time it happened to be my own guru. So I stopped my vehicle and attended the phone call. I was surprised to hear the voice of some other person. The person told me that my guru had instructed me to direct me along the correct route. He further inquired about my present location. Therefore, he said that I need to take only a few turns along the route away from my intended route in order to reach my destination. Had the phone call been late by a few more minutes, I would have proceeded along my earlier marked route that I would have resulted in a long detour. Had the phone call been made from someone else, I would not have stopped. So my guru had given his own phone to some other person and made him direct me exactly at this particular point where I was about to make an error in the route. On August 29, 2011, I had embarked on a long road journey in my car all alone. The total distance was about 3,000 kilometers, which included narrow roads, and I had planned to cover it over a period of 10 days. And so, with breaks in between for sightseeing, the starting point was from Srinagar and destination was Hyderabad. This was not my first long distance journey in any way. A few days prior to the commencement of the journey, I had informed my guru about the impending sojourn. My guru had given me a mantra on the telephone and directed me to commit it to memory. He further directed that I repeated this mantra 11 times before commencement of my long journey and also every day along the route I was taking. I was told by my guru that this mantra was for my protection. As I had already mentioned, this was not my first long distance drive in any way, and my guru did not give this kind of mantra to me on earlier occasions. After about 8 days of driving, I was on my last lap to Hyderabad. I had chosen a convenient route, although the route was not the shortest. As directed by my guru, I started to repeat the mantra 11 times every day before starting to from any place. On that particular fateful day, I was driving through the interior parts of central India. I must have been driving at nearly 100 kilometers per hour when I tried to overtake a bus on a narrow road. The bus driver was adamant and would not give me space to overtake. I was also in no mood to slow down and decided to take my chance. A clash of wheels took place between me and the bus driver. The bus driver must have thought that I would blink first and slow down. However, I pushed my car alongside the speeding bus. As a result, I was forced to go off the road partially since the bus was not giving me the space to overtake. Two of my car wheels were on the gravel beside the road. I could immediately make out that I would not be able to overtake the bus in that manner, as the gravel beside the road was not smooth. Finally, I had to give in and slow down all of a sudden due to some people walking ahead on the road. As a result, I suddenly applied the brakes and lost control over my car. What had happened over the subsequent few moments of my life will probably take a long time to forget. How the vehicle had come under control is very difficult to narrate. I had already resigned myself to the inevitable accident. I clearly experienced the thin line between life and death. However, the experience must have washed away 100 sins. I came out of the entire situation unscratched, and neither my body nor my car were damaged in any way. The mantra given by my guru was reverberating in my mind as I tried to digest the entire sequence of events in the aftermath of the incident. This is how a guru handles the destiny of his practitioner in an extremely subtle way. A guru may not exhibit his supernatural powers in a direct way. In these two cases, the power to remote vision was being exercised by my guru. However, just like the splendor of a light under a mask, which leaks out and becomes visible to the public, supernatural powers of a guru too are unintentionally leaked out to the practitioner under him. Incidents of this nature have happened to me on numerous occasions. However, it is sufficient if the readers have comprehended the subject. Let us carry out a simple analysis of the entire story. Although I have said that supernatural powers of a guru are unintentionally leaked out to a practitioner sometimes, it could well have been a deliberate act on part of my guru. A guru may intend to achieve several objectives in one stroke. First of all, the karmas or accumulated sensual impressions that were about to unfold in the form of destiny have been washed away. Next, the guru might have exhibited the supernatural powers by deliberately leaking out telltale signs of the events that are about to unfold. This must have been done so that the faith of a practitioner towards the guru is strengthened. That is why I have said that the way a guru handles his practitioners is extremely subtle to understand. When incidents of this nature happen, a practitioner is formally put on track of yoga practice so that he or she doesn't fall down by entertaining doubts over the validity of yoga system.